Good morning, Norwayne. Seventh graders. This is Mr. Kearns, the eighth grade American history teacher, here to talk to you today. I apologize, I'm a little out of it. Had a dream I was a motorcycle last night. I woke up too tired. Anyways, want to talk to you about your field trip opportunity at the end of your eighth grade year, where we go to Washington, D.C., either Gettysburg or Philadelphia, United 93, Mount Vernon, Arlington, numerous other possible destinations. So currently, this trip costs about $445. I know that might sound like a lot, but this is a 4 day, 3 night, basically all inclusive trip. So hotel, food, t-shirt, picture, all kinds of stuff are paid for. So it really isn't that much, especially if you consider the fact that you're over a year out. So it's really one of those little bit more than $1 a day would get you there. But speaking of cost, the main purpose here is we're going to try and inform you about a fundraising opportunity. You should be able to sample some of these butter braids here if you've never had them before, but this is what you have the opportunity to sell. So these are butter braids from Stoller Fundraising, which is a local company. We've partnered with them for numerous years. As you can see here, the sale begins today, run for 2 weeks. And then the pickup date is March 31st. You see we picked this up in the lobby from 1:30 to 4:30. And these are not large items, so you can almost always just take them home with you on the bus. And I can talk with you more if you're concerned about that. One thing to note about the date, we usually try to line the sale up with holidays, so this will be in time for Easter. So those of you that host a lot of people, special events, church, family, etc., this is a good thing to have out for your guests. So a few things I'll run through. You should have a packet in front of you that has this info. I just kind of walk through it with you. As far as payment, you do need to collect payment when you get the order. This is not something that you're going to get money for when you have the item. You have to have it beforehand. So cash is always good, or checks payable to Norway Middle School. As you can see here, we do have the opportunity to do an online system now, which um, we did this last fall. It worked out pretty well. I'll show you some of that here. So pamphlet should look somewhat similar to this. It's very simple, very user-friendly. Just want to point out a few things too. So as you can see here, these will be frozen items. I would say maybe a little bit shorter than the size of a Pringles can. Very simple. Once it's frozen, you let it thaw, it rises, you bake it. Turns out to be a giant toaster strudel, as you should be enjoying as I'm talking. So numerous flavors here. Just want to point out a few things. These are mainly dessert pastries, except for this four cheese and herb. That's more of a garlic bread served with spaghetti, lasagna type of deal. Comes with marinara sauce and not icing. And we did get cinnamon rolls added this past year, so something a little different. The order form itself, all I need if you're filling it out this way is your first and last name. I don't know all of you yet, so I definitely need that. Group name, teacher, etc. Not worried about that, just the name is fine. Who you sell it to, that needs to go here. It gives you examples, mom, dad, grandpa, whatever. Don't worry about the phone number because you know who they are. Just make sure you annotate what items they get. Please tally it across, total items, total amount due. Make sure you mark if they paid. This happens all the time. You think you got money or you think you didn't. They think they paid you, etc. I can tell you from a teacher standpoint, we get fundraisers all the time, so it is hard to keep track. So good tool there just to use. Please make sure you drop down, annotate across the bottom, total it up so you have total items and total amount due. That way we just stop a lot of errors. I've done this for numerous years here, and we always have people that don't have the right amount of money, and it's just kind of a hassle to track you down and get it all figured out. So that's kind of the short and simple old school paper route. If you want to try something new, they are offering that online order system, as I mentioned. Now, this is something that's on the Norway Middle School DC trip. site. I'm going to put it on Remind, which I'll talk to you about here in a second, but super simple. You just click the link, it'll take you to this. Now, the eighth grade is doing this also, so you'll see their names as well. But if someone wants to do this, it's going to be really easy. They just get in here, click your name. Chase, sorry about the name being cut off, but once you click it, it'll bring up visual order. Just click what you want. You see the prices. Now, I will tell you there is a charge to use this. Like most things, if you're using a credit card, there's a fee that goes along with it. So if someone wants to do the online ordering, make sure they're ordering everything at once. Otherwise, they're going to get charged more. So something to keep in mind. Again, to remind, I'll have a hard copy of this for Mr. Fulton to pass out to you, but this is just something strictly DC trip. You know, you guys know you have a homework page um, with school, but this will be totally separate, just DC related. So if your parents like that, they can do that. And I just put out reminders about fundraisers, about any important dates, if we got due dates or whatever. So there's that, something they can look forward to and use throughout the year. Going back to this, just stuff about butter braids. You know, you're trying to sell this. I can tell you, again, someone that gets hit up for fundraisers all the time. It's super annoying when people are like, "Hey, here's a form. Do you want to buy this?" No, I definitely don't. So make sure you're putting some effort and interest into it. Tell people what it is. If people like butter braids, this is the only way you can get them is fundraising. So that's something. They store forever. I've bought a million of them. I still have some in my freezer from years ago. So the other key thing, tell people what this is for. Eighth grade Washington, D.C. trip. No offense, this isn't new baseball bats, new band uniforms, or whatever. People really like the idea that we still have this type of trip. So I think that in itself is a selling point. With that being said, kind of jumping back, sometimes people don't like butter braids or they're tired of fundraising. If ever someone says, I don't want to buy your product, I just want to give you $10 or something, take it. Always, always, always take free money. And if you have a problem with that, you can bring it to me. I'm always looking for it. But we can definitely just put that in your account and they don't have to buy the product itself. Jumping down to the next bullet point, should go without saying, but don't sell, you know, inappropriate places. Don't be looking for vans that say free candy or going down dark alleys or whatever. Make sure you're going places you know with someone you know, a friend. If you don't have a friend, you probably have family, so go with them. These things are frozen. They need to be stay frozen until they are being prepared. So make sure when you're going to deliver them that you're getting it to where it needs to go, or you're at least putting it in a freezer yourself until you see that person. I will throw out there, if you do find teachers that are willing to buy it from you, that's great. Please make sure you deliver that as fast as possible. Um, every time I do a fundraiser, I'll have a teacher come to me 3 months later and say, "Hey, look, so and so didn't give it to me. I never got it, paid for it, whatever." And then they don't want to support this. So make sure you're getting it to, especially teachers and whomever else you sold it to, in a timely manner. If people use the online ordering form, this is not Amazon Prime. They're not going to get it in 2 days. It's all being delivered to the school, and then you will be responsible for delivering it to your person. So make sure they're aware of that. Again, money has to be turned in with the order on time. So cash check, or if it's online, I can track that. That's not a problem. And I'll start a spreadsheet, make sure that you get it, and I'll track that throughout the year. Something you'll be able to monitor on Progress Book as well. So that's kind of the quick rundown of this. Again, I think this is a fantastic trip. Looking forward to getting to know all of you, taking you on this. You know, we learn a lot throughout this American history course, and it's pretty awesome because by the end of the year, you get to see it all in action. So if you have any questions, feel free to come down and ask me, or email me, or call me, or whatever. But hopefully for now that answers your questions. Thank you.